I have a long life of addiction. So I started taking drugs when I was about 15, 16 years old, somewhere in my mid-teens. I can't remember exactly when. They just took me completely by storm. I began to believe that that's who I was. Ended up getting married and still a drug addict, and so that marriage failed. I had two children. Continued to use, got married again, continued to use, and that marriage failed. I ended up without anyone to take me in. I became homeless, and that's how I ended up here.
It may seem odd that a rescue mission, a homeless shelter, is a place to apply the principles of LPR. But I can tell you that there is no better place because I'm dealing with people. We recognize people have individual worth, just as they are. And that's what LPR is trying to tell people, is that you do have worth. And it's your choice to do something with that. Incentivization, that's a key element of this transaction process. So if I want to incentivize somebody to do something, and I can tie it to they have something of worth that they want to trade with what we have, that's right down the alley of what an LPR principle would be. And so I use these principles from our classes, and that's how you build momentum away from the street.
The purpose of LPR is to train people so that they can become ambassadors and go talk to other people and train other people. It's not just so we can create 10,000, 15,000, 100,000 graduates. It's to create people who can influence their people in their sphere. And as a physician, we take care of pathogens that are extremely contagious. Good ideas can be contagious too. So all we have to do is train a few people to have good ideas, and they can spread that very, very quickly.
I was very fortunate in my military career and my academic career, and now to be exposed to a lot of great leaders, leadership programs, leadership training. I mean, that's what the military and a lot of these things are about. This one was different. What the leadership program of the Rockies does is it introduces the idea of individual rights, proper role of government, active citizenship.
It is a principle-based learning, and again, it goes back to the foundation, which is ideas. Ideas result in action. Ideas translate to action. If what you teach is action, you don't get anywhere. But if what you teach are ideas, the natural flow from those ideas are good action.
I'm a keeper of the flame of liberty, and you just need to fan that flame sometimes to make it bigger and brighter. We are spreading out beyond just those that have graduated. This is a movement that needs to be bigger and better than even LPR.
It didn't take long after I met Kathleen before I started hearing some of these words and ideas that I hadn't heard since 8th grade civics. Liberty, freedom, Constitution, individual rights, property rights. And I thought, that's a real thing. It matters. We all should be paying attention to who our elected officials are, not just at campaign time, but what regulations make a difference to things, who affects what? What's county, what's state, what's federal.
I think being a citizen is mostly about showing up and recognizing you're the one who hired those people. You're the one that voted them in. You're the one that placed them in power. So why not hold them accountable by showing up? Carol might not be on a board or a commission, but she is the watchdog out there asking the good questions of our elected officials. The ideas of LPR have now had a larger influence around the state of Colorado.
Leadership program of the Rockies changed my life forever. And after each class, I would drive back home to Colorado Springs. And the first thing I did is I'd call my wife. And as soon as I was done talking to her, the next thing I did was I called Dr. Patel, and we started having conversations about all of these topics, and he got excited. And the other thing we started talking about is how do we apply these principles to medical practice?
And I was watching him. I was monitoring him and to see what he's doing, and then see what difference it make in him. And I could see that every single day he will go there. There's something new what he brought. I can achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. There is no limit. Born and raised in India, I don't think I would have achieved that one back home in India. Freedom is so important. And understanding The value of freedom, that's what Prashant brought while he was going through this LPR class. And by bringing those values and kind of discussing with us, this helps me in clearing my path for the future. That's what I saw.
So I'm focusing on the ideas and teaching those ideas to everyone that I can come across. At this practice, we have over 100 employees. So immediately, wherever I am for that day, I can have discussions like this and talk about ideas. But instead of saying, this is the idea, this is what you should believe, I actually question them. And once they start to understand the principle behind that question, I start building on that. And by the time I'm done, whether it's a day or a month or a year, they came up with the conclusion. I didn't force it on them.
I'm not running for office. I'm not trying to run for office. I'm trying to do my job better. I don't begrudge anybody running for anything. I don't. Being a politician is a talent and a skill and a thing that you have to be able to do real well. That's just not what I'm after. I'm after the impact that I have in my 3 feet around me. Start with the 3 feet around you. I mean, everybody's got grandiose ideas about how they want to change this or build that or do all that. Start with the 3 feet around you. If you can get that right, guess what? You walk around, your 3 feet's going to change. You'll start to, affect more and more and more. And here at the rescue mission, somebody like Matt, who was a client, now is a leader and employee that we have, he's a great example of that cascading effect. He now runs all of our food services.
Jack, he really cares. And I'll tell you this, everything that he's told me, every little bit of leadership advice, I have been able to take that right to my job, and it's improved the way I work.
Who am I investing in so that that person can invest in the next person? Because this person knows people I will never know, has a sphere of influence that I will never know. So if I can touch them, then they can touch the next person, and it's that ripple effect. It's that throwing that stone into the pond as the pond ripples out. It's that idea of proximity impact.
Every single person I've spoken to always comes and tells me, I went home, I had a discussion with my significant other about some of the stuff we talked about.
Me and my wife, a lot of times now discuss various aspects of politics, finances, even personal things. In the past, it was not happening that often. I must say that my daughter engages a lot also now.
I've not been through leadership program of the Rockies, but I can trace my development from just wanting to learn a little more to actually getting involved and active to people who have been involved with leadership program of the Rockies. And I'm becoming more fluent in the language of leadership program of the Rockies.
I've never heard of the leadership program of the Rockies, but if Jack went through it, it definitely works, and I'm benefiting from it. And through me, more people are benefiting from it.
There is value to having these people in the community who have invested the time to develop and hone those skills, because then it rubs off on little old me. These people are that effective.